watch wrestling, you know that it's quite a spectacle. Trash talk and detailed entrances are almost more important than the actual match itself. It's high drama, extreme stunts, and a plethora of special effects. Today we have Colby Savell in studio to talk to us about Hardin Simmons' upcoming production of The Elaborate Entrance of Chad Deity. How are you, Colby? Good to have you.
I'm doing great. Happy to be here.
Well, tell us a little bit about yourself to start off so we can get to know you a little bit better.
Okay, I'm a sophomore and I'm a theater education major. I'm wanting to teach high school theater.
Okay.
So that's sort of why I'm doing this whole thing.
Awesome. Have you been in any other productions besides Deity before this year?
Yes, at Hardin Simmons, I was in Red last year in the fall. I was also in 12th Night, Hello Dolly, and 2 of the Direct Fest productions.
Well, out of those shows, what would you say is your favorite that you've done so far?
I'm a writing guy. I like to write. I like to sit down and write some plays, musicals. It's sort of a hobby of mine, so I always like good writing. So I would have to say my favorite would be Red, because, well, it was the first show I did here as a freshman. But it also, it had a really nice sense of writing to it, and that's something I kind of like about this show as well.
Yeah, I enjoyed Red. I actually saw it when you were in Red. I thought that was a great poetic piece, very artistic, has multiple levels, and
Definitely.
So I really enjoyed Red. Well, tell me a little bit about Chad Deity. What exactly is going on with that play?
The whole idea is that behind every great winner is a great loser. Every time you see a football team or basketball team or any kind of sport or anything, or even an award, you have to go out there and you have to know that if somebody's going to win, somebody's also got to lose. And I think that's something we can all identify with, no matter what walk of life we come through. There's awards, there's accolades, everybody's got some kind of something that they can achieve. And that always means that somebody's not going to achieve it. And this is it's a really well done story. I love the writing of this play. And it really has a lot to say about what it means to be that loser. Just because you're a loser doesn't mean, you're a loser. It just means you lost. And I have to say, I personally am what you would call an aesthete. I like art for art's sake. I don't necessarily need some big, deep meaning behind everything I do or watch. So I like a little bit of spectacle, and I can appreciate other people the same way. And that's another reason I like this show so much, is because not only does it have the deeper meaning, but on top of that, there's a ton of spectacle. There's a lot of cool wrestling moves. You get to see some people, including myself, slam to the floor a couple times. So it's definitely got a little something for everybody.
That's awesome. Well, talk about the technical aspect of it. Being in the theater building, I hear that technical-wise, this is a very complicated show. So, from your perspective, let us in on how technical this show is going to have to be.
All right. Well, for a little bit of perspective, we had our first tech rehearsal on Saturday, and for anybody who doesn't know, a tech rehearsal is basically where you go through and you plug in all the technical aspects, from lights, sound, the full set for the first time, all that sort of thing. And the rehearsal started at 9 in the morning, and we ended at 11:30 at night.
Wow.
So there's a little bit of perspective. I can say it's been a long road since the first day of school. I also work in the shop. So since the first day of school, we've been building the set to Chad Deity. You can see now I got paint on my hands and my clothes and stuff from painting. We've had hours every day spent down there building. The lighting is everywhere. We're using every single light we own. We are using all kinds of sound instruments. In the first act alone, we have 79 light changes.
That is a lot.
Yes.
For those of you who aren't in the theater, that is quite a number.
Yes, it is.
Just for the first act?
Just for the first act.
Wow.
The second act's even more.
Wow. I know also that y'all are also using cameras, like live shots. Our communication department gave y'all some cameras to use during your production, and so tell us a little bit about what the cameras are doing there.
Okay, well, if you've ever been to a professional wrestling match, the way they have it is you walk in and you sit down in your seat and there's screens all around you. Sort of like at a Dallas Cowboys game, you go and they got the biggest screen in the world. Right. And you walk in and there's screens all around you. So we've tried to capture a little bit of that. And every time there is an elaborate entrance or something, which of course is in the title of the play. That's what you call when wrestler enters, with the music and everything. Every time there's an elaborate entrance, we have cameras going to film the entrance. So not only do you see the person coming in, right in front of you, but you see it with effects and everything big and blown up all around you. We really wanted to capture that spectacle of live wrestling.
So you're definitely in the world of the play.
Oh, definitely.
The audience is a part of it.
Yes, the audience actually, we interact with them a couple times. The audience of the play is also going to be the audience of the wrestling matches. So.
Wow. Well, what role do you play in?
Okay. I play Macedonio Guerra,
okay.
a Puerto Rican wrestler who has dreamed all his life of being this professional wrestler. Always, his whole life, that's what he wanted. And I'm not talking like the big World Wrestling Federation that, are just kind of big and goofy. I'm talking, he wanted to be a professional wrestler, a real wrestler. And in wrestling, as you'll learn in the play, when you become really, really good at the wrestling part of the wrestling business, you don't get promoted like you might in another job. When you're really good at the wrestling part of the wrestling business, you get to make some guy who sucks look like he doesn't suck. So you get in the ring and you make it look like he's kicking your butt, and then the audience loves that, so you get to do it the next time and the next time. And so you become this great loser behind the champ.
Awesome. Well, I'm very excited to see the play and see how it all turns out. Thank you so much for coming.
Hey, definitely. And
The show opens this week, Thursday through Saturday at 7:30, and then a Sunday matinee at 2 o'clock. If you can't catch it this weekend, the production will run 2 weeks in a row, closing October 6th. Be sure to tune in for future webcasts. I'm Bethany Blaine, and that's what's happening.